Hey everyone, my name is Sunny and welcome to my channel. I'm uploading a video after I think at least 2 years, I guess. So this is, and I hope that it will continue now, okay, without any further, you can say, break. So this is the first topic that I'm picking up, and I have been asked this more oftenly. This that what is decorators and how we can effectively use them. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see on the screen that I've already written that it is nothing but it's a wrapper. This is a wrapper of your own function, and it can help you to extend the behavior of the existing functions or legacy functions, or even in the classes as well. Okay, so that you can without modifying that the legacy code too much. Okay, so you can extend the behavior of that function, okay, by just using this wrapper, and which is also called as decorators. Okay, so let's see that, okay, how practically we can implement these things, because going into the too much of the detail, like a theoretical detail, will actually which is also available in most of the, you can say, most of the videos, and even in the some of the articles you will find out. So let's get started with the practical session. Okay, so I have opened my VS Code here on my system, and this is a repository I will be sharing. The link will be available in the description itself. And here I have created all the requirements, okay, README file and everything. So I will be doing my job here in the decorator example. So there is a directory here, okay, and almost all the Python related stuffs or queries that I will be answering or I will be creating a video of. So it will be presented to this just Python repository, which you will find out on my GitHub profile. Okay, so let's get started here. So here, let me create some of the files here. So I will be creating some of the files where I will give you some simple examples and some more complex ones. And then I will do at the end, what I will do is I will pick one of my repositories and try to modify one of the functions, try to add decorator for it, so that I can show you that, okay, yes, you can do it for any of your code which is available. Okay. So let's start with the simple example here. So I will create one of the, let's say, 01, a simple example of, okay, I will create this inside. Okay, I should actually create it inside my decorator. Okay, I will put it here in the decor sample move. Yes, so it should be here. Okay, so I will be doing this in this session. So now what I can do is, let's just create one of the functions. Let's say you have a one function which is nothing but it just does a printing of the name. Okay, it is just printing the name, and I think maybe I can make it slightly larger. Yes, so let's say you are like printing some name only. Okay, you are like you have this function and it is just print your name. Okay, so let's say I will say that, okay, hi from Sunny. So let's say this is what I want to print. Now this will definitely, if I call it, so without, obviously if I want to call this, it will just simply write print name. So it will give me the result, then it will just simply print it hi from Sunny. Now let's say I want to modify this behavior of this particular function. So what I can do is I will simply I will create one another function which will call it as a decorator. Okay, let's call it as a decorate. Okay, and this function will actually takes the definition of this current function. Okay, and let's say there will be an inner function which will be utilizing this function which you have, and this inner function actually will be responsible for the changing of the behavior. Okay, like let's call this as adding extra behavior. Okay, so and this will not take any argument. Okay, this is just taking an extra. Will be responsible for adding the extra behavior into the current function. So what I will do is, let's say I just want to decorate it. So I will simply add one print statement before and after my function. So I will, let's say, I will call it as a new line character here, and I will add it, or maybe just let me show you this one. So let's say you want to just add stars back and front of it. Okay, and let's try to make it 10 times, and this decoration I want to do, okay, on my function. So whatever function I provide, so what it will do, whatever function you provide, it will simply give the results of it, and then it will also, at the starting and at the end, it will just simply print the stars so that it can separate them. So this is what I'm doing. I'm just adding one of the behavior which was not exactly present in my original print statement or original, you can say, function that I had. Okay, so after this, what I will do, I will simply return the definition of this extra behavior function. So I will just return this. Okay, so what I will do is, like, if I want to use it as a decorator, okay, so if I just simply call Python and then I specify that, okay, yes, it was in the, I think it was in the decorator example, yes. So if I run this, so it is just, right now it is just printing the name of my, like my name as it is. If I want to add this behavior, if I want to add this behavior, okay, to decorate my like outcome here, so there are two alternative ways. Okay, I will just comment this out as of now. One way is that, or you can say first way says that you can simply create a variable here, let's say my name, and you can call this function that is decorated function. Okay, and in this decorated function, what you will do is you will pass the existing function that you have, because it was expecting some function. Okay, so right now I'm just passing the definition of this function, I'm not calling that function. Okay, so this will just take this function, and if I now want to get the results or the updated results, okay, that means this decorated results, so what I will do, I will simply call this now, since my name is now actually, it contains the definition of the function. So if I want to call the function, so I will simply use this parenthesis. And now if I run my outcome, so you will see that it will simply give me a now updated ones. That means hi from Sunny, that is the previous behavior, that is from previous function. And this is the new star, that means has been added by using the decoration here. But right now we are using, again, it's very easy way, like, or you can say it is not the way we use decorator. Okay, this is the easiest way that you can approach, but this is not how we use the decorator. So to use it as a decorator, what I can do, let me comment this out. Okay, I will comment this out as of now, and I will perform here the second way. Okay, or you can say the decorators way. So in that case, I will just simply just first of all, I will copy paste this. Okay, and I will also comment this one. I can, because I'm not going to use it as it is, so that you can have a reference for it. So later on, what I can do is, just while defining this function, okay, so instead of defining it in this form that we have seen in the first way, what I will do is I will just use @ sign, and I will use the decorate it. Okay, decorate it, that means the definition of this wrapper. Okay, I will just use this name. So if by using this one only, it will actually adding the behavior, a new behavior to my existing function. Okay, so now what I will do is I will simply call print name as it is. Okay, if I just simply call this one, so it will actually add or change the behavior of my existing function. Okay, so now let's do this. So let's call now. So you can see now it is giving me the similar results. Now if you want to just practice on the different function, so let's call some other function. Let's say print the let's say print welcome. Let's say you want to print some welcome. Okay, and in this one also, let's say you are just printing the welcome. Okay, let's say welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, now again, if I just directly, if I call this one, that is print welcome, so it will simply give me that welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, it is just giving me. Now if I want to add that behavior, so I will just simply write add decorated, and now you can see the results. So you can see that now this one is also now present inside the stars. So you can see that how we have added this behavior to the different functions. So you have to write it once, this decorator function, and you can use it multiple times as you want. Normally, the better practice is that you can keep it these decorators in a separate file. Okay, so let me put it into the separate file. Okay, here. So what I can do is I can just again create one more file here. So let's call this as, let's create one more file in the your decorator example. Okay, so I will use touch command, and I will call it as all decorators, or I will simply call this decorators. Okay, decorators.py, and in that file I will just keep this function from here. Instead of from here, I will just keep it there in my existing previous ones. Okay, so decorator.py, I will just keep it as it is here. Okay, and now what I will do is I will simply call this function here whenever I want to use it. So as you can see now, it is showing me that okay, it is not existing here. So I can simply call, let's say, from decorators, from decorators, okay, import decorated. Okay, so now if I use it, so it should show me the same result. Okay, Python decorator example and no. So you can see it is giving me the same result. So right now you can see this is the more clean way to write the same code. Okay, instead of writing all the decorators in just one file, the best way to keep it in separate file and keep on using whenever you want to use it. Okay, so in this way we can go up an approach for this decorator file. So this was the one of the most simplest approach. Okay, so what I can do is I will add some more tutorial into this one. So what I can do is, let's say this is the simplest approach, simplest way to use it. Now let's say if I want to go for some more complex approach. Let's say you want to provide some argument to your let's say you're passing some arguments, okay, into your function. So let's see how that can work. So now what I will do is I will create one more file here, which will be, let's say, 2, and then it is going to be with args. Okay, with arguments, I'm going to use it. So let's create that file here. Okay, sorry, it has to be touch here, touch command. So that will create an empty file, and I will copy paste everything from here, and I will slightly modify these things so that you can see it here. Okay, so this is 0 to with arguments, and I will just copy paste everything. And now let's say while you are using this, okay, while you are using this function here, and instead of just printing it here, let's say instead of just printing, you want to use let's say you want to pass this instead of this by printing here by name, so you want to pass here the name. Okay, you want to pass a variable instead of that. So what I will do is I can make it more dynamic here, so I can simply call f here, that is f string, and I will, instead of writing my name here so that I can write anyone's name, so I will just simply pass that name argument. Now if I want to use the same way, if I want to use this approach, okay, if I want to go for this again, and okay, instead of calling it from the different, I will just simply keep it as it is. I will just remove everything from here. Now if I want to go for my, let's say this approach again, decorate it again, and I want to use this here. Okay, I want to use this in this case. Okay, and I want to decorate my function with which is actually expecting some argument. So if I now go for the print name approach, and if I provide my name here, okay, my name is Sunny here in this case, and if I now run this, okay, let me run this one. So you can see this, it will show me an error that, okay, adding extra behavior takes 0 positional arguments, but 1 was given. So to solve this issue, because it is actually expecting an argument, it is not passing here. So to solve this issue, you can go for a updated behavior. What is that updated behavior? We have to tell that, okay, the inner function is actually going to take some, it will take some variable arguments, as well as you can, if you're using the keyword arguments also, so you can go for a keyword argument. So this will actually help you to solve this behavior. Apart from this, you have to also pass this to the function. Okay, so in this way we can solve this issue, that it will now will start behaving as the expected one. So you can see now it is now performing well. Now if I want to, instead of this, if I like write my channel's name, let's see Vincent Hawk. Okay, so if I run this again, so you can see now that it is expecting some, yes, it is now printing the C17 Hawk as well. So that means it is working fine. Now my function is also expecting some behavior as well, like it is expecting some argument as well. So decorate it with args. Let's say, let's call this as this one, and I will copy paste here, and instead of putting it here, I will just copy this into my decorators file here, where I can mention this decorator this. Okay, so I will keep it there so that I can make it more clean looking. Okay, I will comment it out, and instead of using this way, I'll just call this from the decorators. Okay, decorators, import decorate it with args. Okay, so this is what I'm going to call it. And if I run my like options again, if I run it, so I will give the similar results. So you can see that either way it is working fine. Okay, it is working absolutely fine now. Now this is the second case. Okay, this is the second case that we have seen. Now let's say we are having the third case where like where your function is also returning something. Okay, so let's look into that case. So for that, I will again create one more file here. So touch, and let's call this as let's call this as the third file with args return statements. Okay, with args and return statement. So I will create this third part, and again I will copy this, copy paste everything from here, and I will say I will keep it here. Okay. Now in this case, so let me uncomment this behavior here. Okay, I will just not use it. I will again start with this one approach. Okay, and it with args, and let's say let's make it expand it. Okay, and return statement, something like. So let's assume that okay, now you have this this function is not only printing your name, it is also returning something. So let's say it is returning that welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, let's say it is also returning this hi from Sunny, and it is also returning some, like it is also returning this form, this outcome. Okay, and I have changed the decorator's name as this with return statements. Okay, so if I run this, let's see what kind of outcome we get. So we have this third example that is with this coming with the return statement. So Python and then decorator, if I run this, so it is okay, it is printing, but you can see that it is not returning anything. Okay, it is not returning anything here. And also I am not, since I'm not printing this because this outcome is actually returning something. Okay, and I'm also not printing the result as well. So let me also write it here in the result form. Okay, result is equals to this, and then also let's print the result. Okay, so that I can get the all my requirements fulfilled here. So if I run this, you can see that it is printing none. It is not returning anything. That means this function was not able to return the result that we were expecting. So again, what I can do is I can just simply write here, I will make this function return something because I did not mention here. So after that, I should return this result, which is this function is actually going to return it. So I will call it as a result behavior here, and result is equals to, I will just mention that, okay, function, and this will be placed into this result statement. Okay, and then I will just pass this result object as an output. Okay, so now if I run this, now if I run my outcome, so you can see that, okay, yes, it is also printing my return statement as well. So in this way, if you have a function which is having some argument or keyword arguments and it is also returning something, so best way is to use this form. This way you can use it, and you can add some extra behavior, okay, where you want to use it. So this was the third option that we had. Okay, so let's again modify it. Okay, let's copy paste this one and keep it into our decorators, like you can say module where everything is present. I can again, now I will import this one from my decorators. Okay, in this case also, so I will just comment it out and I will make it slightly more clean looking. So I will just write from decorators. Okay, import decorated with args and return. Okay, so that is what I'm going to use it. And let's say if I run it again, so okay, let me run it again. So you can see the hi from Sunny and welcome to my YouTube channel. So that is how it is printing. Okay, so this is actually with the arguments and all. Now this is, we have seen a very simple example. Now let's say, okay, how you can use it for any function that you are having. Okay, let's say for that, let me do one thing. I have one, if I go to my, let's create one more window here, new window. Just a moment. Okay, so right now I'm at, I was just open one browser, and if I go to my GitHub C17 Hawk, okay, that is my GitHub profile. And if I open here, so I can just go to my, let's say, exploring deep learning. Okay, this was my one of my code that I have written very long years. Okay, 2 years ago. Okay, I have written. So let's say I want to modify the behavior of this particular. Let's say this is present here, right? Demo codes for edge detection, Jupyter Notebook, and this is this. I want to change the behavior of the codes which are present here. I want to update the Python functions which are present here. Okay, so let's try to modify this. Okay, let's try to modify this. First of all, what I can do is I will simply clone this repository. Okay, and I will just create its basic, you can say, requirements. I will try to install all the requirements which is present here, and then I will apply some decorators here so that I can give you a real-time example that okay how you can modify the existing behavior okay of any of your code that you have written previously. So let's clone this first of all. So to clone this, as I think you can either download it as a zip or you can simply copy this one, okay? And or what I can do is instead of this, I will just simply copy. I will just put all my this requirement that is decorator, this demo code for edge detection. I will just simply download it and also this requirements.txt. That's all. I will put it in the same directory here so that you can have a look on there. Okay. So let's do that. Okay. Okay, so everyone, I have just downloaded the code that I was wanted to show you as an example. Okay, so this code is will be present inside the code example, and I will be putting it into edition previous example. So they where I will be using this example, this file which are present here by default. And I've also created one file which I'm going to write where the decorators I'm going to write it here. Okay, and then after that I will be having this demo code Jupyter notebook. Okay, but before that we have to install these requirements which is present. Okay, so what I will do is I will simply create one of the you can say environment for this one. So in the decorator, so right now I should be in this because this environments will be different for everyone. Okay, so I will be writing that here. And one more thing is that I should put those I should ignore those environment files because if I don't, so what I will do, it will try to it will just keep all the environment file inside the GitHub repository. Okay, so that is actually a tedious thing to do. So it's better I should avoid this initially itself. Okay, so I will just put it into the git ignore file. So let's do this. Okay, let's first of all create an environment here. So for our project to get executed, so I will just simply call here just conda. And okay, I should be first of all in my this directory where I'm going to perform this. So it should be in decorator, and then it should be in edge. Okay, in the edge detection previous code. So I should be here, and then I will simply write that okay, Honda, and then I will be writing prefix, and I will be specifying that okay, Conda, and then I have to write create, and then prefix, and then in env the name of the folder where I'm going to store all the environment files, okay, which will be responsible or to capture or to have the you can say as a base for or as a base directory for all my libraries. And then I will use to find the version of the Python I'm going to use. So I'm using the 3.7 here, and I will providing this okay -y. That means I'm expecting the changes. I'm accepting all the changes. Okay, that is going to create. So let's run this. Okay, let's run this and it will just take a small amount of time to create environment. Okay, and it is still executing. May take time, so let's wait for a moment. Okay, so right now it got created here. So let's activate this environment. So conda activate and then env. Okay, so it will activate my environment. And now let's start the notebook here itself. Or if you want, you can also do it, run it in inside your VS Code itself, but it is okay. We can go for a Jupyter notebook as of now. But right now you can see that it has default, it has installed by default, but it may cause an issue because with the other stuff that we are having. Okay, right now, as you can see, it may have installed the by default that okay, Jupyter notebook, but you may understand that we do not have all the requirements fulfilled. So for that, before starting, I will just simply write pip install -r, that is recursively install all the things which are present into my requirements.txt file. So let it install, and let's wait till it gets installed. I think it will take some time depending upon my internet connection or your internet connection. That means if you are using it. So this will take time. So let's wait for a moment again. Okay, so right now every requirement is now installed. So now we are ready to start Jupyter Notebook here so that we can continue with our work. Okay, so let's start the Jupyter Notebook. So you can see that notebook is open now. So let's make it larger slightly. Yeah, so you can see here now we have the edge detection basic code and all the input that we need. Everything is present here. And so let's open this edge detection code here. Now, again, I'm not going to explain everything here because this is going to be maybe if you are a part of my computer vision lectures. Okay, so you can understand all of this about there. But right now, the prime focus is that we should majorly focus on the decorator part. Okay, so what I can do is here, since you can see that it is a code which was written in 2020. Okay, so it was almost 2 years back. So you can see we what I did is here in this one is actually I was importing the image of the car and I was performing some of the edge detection stuff, and that too manually I'm doing it, okay, without using any, you can say, deep learning techniques. It is just to understand that okay how the data is arranged, so that is, or how the images are arranged. So it is all about that. Okay, like you can see that you can visualize the RGB channel of an image. So it is this data, this file is actually mainly it is containing all this tutorial, but our major objective is to create a decorator for all these function. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's try to create a decorator which will time the function, that okay how much time it is taking to to execute that particular function, whichever function is here. Okay, so in the decorators.py, what I will do is I can write the function here. So let's import, because we are going to use time function here, so we will be importing time here. And let's define one of the wrapper here for timing it. So let's call it as time it, okay, which will again take a functions, okay, and it will have its inner function which will which will just do the timing function, time function I will call it as, and then I will use this args, okay, and then we will be using this keyword arguments, keywords, okay, and after this I will just use an start time because it is starting here. Okay, start time is equals to, I will just use time and then perform count, PERF counter. So what it does, it actually starts counting in seconds, okay, in floats of seconds, okay. The numbers will be in floats and then, but the overall unit will be in the seconds. And I will just now find the results of the function, okay, and I will store into a result, okay, into a result object here, a result variable. And then after that, since it is now, this actually finishes my function, okay, the outcome function. Now after this, what I have to do is I have to calculate the total time taken till here. So total time is equals to time again perform counter. This is going to calculate the time from here, and then I will just simply subtract my start time from here, okay. And actually this is actually, it's trying to capture the time in second as of now, all the time in the seconds, and then it will be time now in seconds, and then it will take the difference here, so it will give me the total time here in seconds. And then I will simply print the outcome of this function as that print, and I will write that okay, time to execute the, let's write the function name here. So what is my function name? To get the function name, I will just simply write the function argument and dot, and then I will write underscore underscore name underscore. So this I will keep it inside the curly braces so that I can use the f string here, okay. So now the time to execute this function is, what was the time taken, so it will be the total time, and that will be in seconds, okay. So in this way, I will print the time taken by this every function that I will be passing. It will automatically, it will pick up the name, and I will also return the result. So this is how I can just write this decorator, and I can also return the this time underscore function at the end, its definition. So this is how I have written my time it decorator. Now let's try to do one thing. Let's try to first of all run every cell here. So let's restart and run all if I do. Okay, so it will run by default without any issue. So let's wait for a moment. Let's let it get executed everything. So we did actually run all the cells, okay? We can again do that, okay? So we can just restart and run all cells so that we can just confirm that whether there should be no error here. So you can see that it is actually executing one by one, and you can see it is printing the edge detection of the, like, this is the horizontal edge and this is the vertical edge detection, okay? So that is how it is trying to find it out. Now let's look into the top here. So we are not going to focus here. We are just going to focus on the decorator that we just have implemented, because we want to understand that, okay, how the decorator is working. Okay, so let me just get rid of this cell. So for that, I will just simply call that from decorator. Okay, by decorators import time it. Okay, so we are going to import this one. So right now we have imported this time it decorator. Okay, now let's go to the definition of the function which we have used here. So I think I can find it out here. Yes, so we can see visualization of the RGB channel. So I can simply write at the rate and then time it. So that's all. If I, so this will give me whenever I'm going to use this. So you can see it is going to print that, okay, how much time it is going to take the execute this function. This much second has been done. Okay. So similarly, if you want to go for the other, and even it was telling that, okay, which function it was. So let's say if I want to use it here, so I will just write time it at the rate time it. So it will apply the this time it behavior to this particular function. Okay. And if I just run into the other codes here, so you can see the find edges. If I run it, so you will see that it is printing that, okay, time to execute the find edges, this function is this much. Okay, so you can see that this is how I can add it to any of my functions here. Let's see that whether we have one more function. So I think we have actually. So yes, this min max scalar function. So if I add the rate, if I use time it here again, so if I just run this, so you can see now here it was used, right? So you can see that time to execute find edges, time to execute minimax scalar function, that how much time it is going to take. So if I run this for this particular one, so you will see that it is actually trying to give me whatever is the function here. So find edges, it is taking this much time, okay, in this case, and it for this min max scalar function it is taking that much time. So in this way we have seen that, okay, the code which was I've written as 2020 without adding any modification to it, without doing any changes into it, based on the kind of function it is, actually if it is returning something, if it is taking some argument, so best thing is that you can approach this way, the way I have written the decorators here. So this is what I wanted to give you an example that, okay, yes, this function in this way you can apply it to any other function which you have utilized. And even I will say that this function is more generic. Even if you want to use it as it is without changing anything into it in your code base where you have implemented your any of your functions, okay, so this code will work beside that that function is actually returning something. So in that case it is going to work very well. Otherwise it will simply say that, okay, it will give me none as a result because if it is not returning anything. So this is how I can use decorator. I hope you will try to use it. Okay, try to use it in your own functions, okay, in your own function that you've implemented very long ago, and try to put that into the comments that, okay, whether you have successfully implemented it or not. And if you get any issue or anything, so you can type it in this chat or in the comment box in this video. Okay, and I will try to answer all your queries. Okay, so that's all from my side. So see you all in the next lecture, and till then, keep on learning, keep on exploring. Thank you all.